routed our wire down through the dash, down to the OBD2 connector. We're going to go ahead and hardwire the unit into this connector for power and ground. First thing I'm going to do is just cut this tape away. The next thing I want to do is locate my power and ground wire. In an OBD2 plug, the bottom right hand corner, now if you're looking at this plug, you see that the top part is wider than the bottom part. If you're looking at the plug exactly in this angle, the bottom right hand side is always power. If I turn the plug over, I see that that pin is an orange pin, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that wire out. The next thing I want to do is look for my ground wire. Directly above where my power wire goes in is an empty slot. Some cars it may be empty, some cars it may not. But at either rate, you're going to go above where the power wire was, and you're going to go over 4 slots. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th slot will always be your ground. If I flip the unit over and count the 4th slot, I see that it's this black wire with a white stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the black and white wire aside with my orange wire. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and strip my wires that are coming off of my LCS Plus unit. And I'm going to strip a little bit of wire back from the power and the ground on the OBD2 connector. You always want to connect the ground wire first. This will help to avoid damaging your unit. And I'm just going to wrap that around there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is hook up the power. Try to keep a finger in between these two when you're doing this to keep the wires from touching and shorting out. After I have the wire tightly wrapped around, I will go in and solder both of these connections, tape them up individually, and then I'll tape the whole bundle back together so that it looks like the factory installed it. And that would conclude my installation on this unit. Okay, the alternate mounting location we're going to use is back here inside the dash on top of this vent. If you can see inside there, it's pretty dirty, so we're just going to go ahead and wipe that off. You always want to make sure you got a good surface clean for your double-sided tape to stick to. Next thing I'm going to do is cut a piece of double-sided tape for my unit. And I'm going to apply it to the bottom of the device because this is the side that goes down, and we want that sticking down to the vent so that the antenna can face upward and towards the sky. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and plug in our wiring harness. Again, make sure it snaps in and it's in there good. And remove your double-sided tape. We're going to go ahead and put this inside the dash and stick it down to that vent. I usually like to hold this for 30 seconds just to make sure that the tape gets full adhesion. At this point you can see that the unit is mounted inside of the dash, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take our wires and we'll route them over here to the left behind the headlight switch that we took out earlier. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little zip tie around our wiring harness to the factory harness that's already in the vehicle. The reason I'm doing that is just to keep our wiring secure, and also so that this looks more factory if anybody ever goes to service the vehicle and has to remove the instrument cluster and sees our wiring in here. I'm just going to cut that off. And then I will reinstall the instrument cluster. And the unit is hidden behind it. That's it.